Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Leo. If Leo is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so tonight we have the art card, and this has everything to do with kind of making that philosopher's stone, right? You can see in the card here. Let's take a look. The combination of the opposites. So it is kind of making that, that great works of your life, right? The magnum opus. And so it is getting all of those things kind of together and balanced and, building that important, maybe the most important aspect of your life. Okay. All right. So did I already do that? I forget. I don't know. I got to talking. So we'll take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to hit the like button or leave a comment, please do. I'd love to hear from you, especially if you're new to the channel. Definitely shout it out. Okay, so I saw we have, it looks like GO. It could be 60 or even 603. We have 603, but also go. Okay, so there's a feeling of, kind of maybe making a decision about, leaving some aspect of your life, or just go. Okay, so I want to start right here. So we have, it looks like a face. Okay, we have a mouth, a nose, the eye. We kind of have some hair right here. And immediately when I had it out further, it reminded me very much of kind of like a comic character, right? I was thinking of this series called The Invisibles, or even like maybe Tank Girl, right? Do you remember that movie Tank Girl? Well, they also had a comic book about Tank Girl, right? So I feel like there's almost this energy, and this could be you, Leo, but there's this energy of kind of this really defiant kind of punk rock or alternative, maybe goth or whatever it is, somebody in your life. And I feel like this was maybe more in your youth. Okay, maybe this is like a sister or a good friend or whoever, but somebody you were close to, somebody that you knew well, well, right? You probably still know them. And I think that this was an influence in your life, right? And now maybe this is you. You might have been this person, or you all kind of dress this way or were into these subcultures. But I do feel like having this energy around really kind of set you up to not always abide the mainstream, right? You don't, and this still is the case, maybe even more so than when you were younger. You never just kind of fell into place. You never just believed what, was told to you by the elders, by your teachers, by your parents, by the world, right? You've always been kind of a free thinker, a progressive, in that. Now I'm not talking political. I just mean progressive in your life. You are somebody who is always evolving, educating yourself, learning about things. And sometimes you stand in defiance of kind of, the prescribed understanding. And so, I think that you're definitely a very innovative person. And I think a lot of this has to do with growing up around this energy of somebody who maybe, sometimes even to a fault, maybe was kind of really oppositional, right? And so, I think that this is not a bad quality. As long as it's, when you're a kid anyways, you're not getting in the way of your own growth, right? That we've all known people, and I'm pointing at myself, that are just maybe contrarians just because, and so, and that can lead to you really kind of shutting yourself off from a lot of different places where you could be learning from or enjoying, or for me, I was definitely kind of that music snob and art snob, and very like counterculture, and I wouldn't listen to things that were popular. And then I got older, right? Got into my like 20s, later 20s, and would go back and listen to things that, were really amazing, great artists and musicians and things. And just because they were popular, I didn't listen to them. And I missed out. So it is, you grow up and you start to see, there's maybe some fault in being so narrow-minded about things. But I think the opposite happened for you. It's like you, have always had this really kind of open mind, a wide open experience, or the ability to want to experience a lot of different things. You're not pigeonholed into anything. So that is, I love seeing that in here. That's a wonderful, wonderful energy. Now, let's see, where was that? We have this roaming dog. Here's the dog up here. And then, yeah, here it is. Here's the dog again. Okay, so you can see the face. Okay, so this energy of the dog it seems very potent in your life right now. And I wonder if this is maybe somebody who you're very close to. There's a loyalty there that it seems like it's been there for a long time. This is like a best friend, maybe like a spouse or a significant other. Maybe this is your parent, sibling, whoever it is, right? We also have, and let me say this before I forget, we have the number 67 right there, 67. So this is a person that I feel like you have, you've spent your life being close with on and off, right? You go through periods of time where you're very close, you talk a lot, you see each other often, and then something just happens, life really happens. I think they're the circumstances, less than maybe a falling out or anything like that. But I think that circumstances kind of lead you apart, and you end up just kind of not really communicating very much. But I do feel like the relationship always remains solid. There's never been a time where you felt like you couldn't call upon them, or you couldn't talk to them, or, reach out and kind of fall back into that groove of closeness. Now, I feel like there's something going on with them. I feel like there's something going on And maybe they haven't really talked to you about it. And I'm wondering if this has to do first with health, but also finances, which those two things go along, don't they? If we have issues with our health, of course, finances are going to follow. So I feel like this is a situation where you're maybe starting to realize something's going on with them. Something is, they're just not necessarily themselves lately. They just don't seem to be like in the same energy. Maybe just kind of not feeling well, tired, maybe not even, you can see they don't feel good. But, maybe it's that they have a lot of stress and they're busy and, whatever. And so you haven't really thought too deeply. And I do. I think that the money thing is really the part that I think is kind of keeping them tight-lipped about this. I also feel like they're probably a pretty private person, even with the people they're close with. But I feel like there's this. Now we have the goat right in the middle here. Okay, so you can see the dog is up here, but we have the goat, okay? We also have a person here who, it looks like, I imagine this is like a magician. You can see they have their hand out and there's these, it feels like little magical things kind of floating around. Now we also have another fish there. We also have the goddess, okay? So the mother goddess there. And then over here we have the goat, which I think has a lot to do with you. This is your energy. And so now the goat really is a symbol of being able to traverse very difficult situations, difficult circumstances, figuring out a course of action, making things happen, right? Even where it seems like there's nowhere to go here, I don't know what to do, I'm going to give up. No, the goat does not give up, right? And so, I feel like as you become aware of the situation and hopefully, you can overlook, right? Because listen, this might be something that kind of hurts your pride a little bit, your heart a little bit. You're thinking, why couldn't they talk to me? I'm here, I'm always here. I love you. You can keep it real with me. I'm never going to kind of judge you or turn you away. You know this. So why wouldn't you talk to me about it? Why wouldn't you just be open? But it's not about you. This is about them. This is about their pride, their struggle, their fear. And maybe they're kind of paralyzed by it, right? They're afraid. They're not feeling well. They're not doing well. And they're financially having some issues, right? And so I feel like, you being who you are, when you do kind of come around to this understanding of what's going on, you're really good at jumping into action. And, trying to figure out like, what is it that we can do here? I'm going to start researching like specialists or making sure that they go to the doctor. Now, if it's like your parents, right? How many times have you found out your parents are not feeling well or doing well, or they've had something start to happen that's out of the norm for them, physically, mentally, whatever. And it's like, yeah, obviously you need to go get checked out, and they haven't. They don't want to. Now, yeah, it's expensive. And that's a big factor. Obviously, even if you have insurance, it's still expensive. So, It's understandable, but I think you look at the situation and you're like, well, there are obvious things that we can do here to really kind of figure out how to start to get this going, you know, figuring out like, what is the plan going to be? How can I help? What can I do? And I feel like you get into this mode and you start making things kind of come together, you know, helping problem solve this stuff, seeing, you know, options where maybe they hadn't, you know, thought of at all, right? They're in the thick of it. So they don't have the greatest perception of things. And so I feel like you come into this situation and you're going to provide a lot of support for them. And that's the big thing, is the support. And I think that, you know, ultimately you'll be so very helpful in getting things kind of back on track, right? And, you know, and I think this is what you end up doing so well, right? And this isn't the only time it's happened. This isn't the only person, right? You are somebody, you know, we all have the people in our lives that we know that we can go to because they're going to get things done, because they're good at figuring things out. You know, and they know about a lot of different things. They maybe know a lot of people, well networked, and you're that person you're that person that we all know, right? Now we also have a K and a C. Okay, KC. I immediately thought of Kansas City here. Maybe you're from Kansas City. I don't know. We also have, it looks like EAT, eat. Okay. So it does seem like maybe there's something food centric going on. You know, maybe you will be traveling, maybe you're hosting something. But there's a sense of taking some pleasure in, you know, maybe that foodie life. So we also have we have a 6 and an 8. Okay, 6 and 8. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go over here and look. We also, we have the horse and the cart. Maybe it's the chariot. Right here, you can see the horse, you can see the cart. I do feel like this is also a time where you are probably pretty busy. And this is maybe why you didn't notice like what was going on with this family member, this good friend, this, you know, soulmate of yours. But, you know, I think that you're very busy within your work, your career, your domestic life. You have a lot of things going on. Okay, so I do feel like, you know, if you are in that role of working hard, really, you know, spending time focused on building your assets, building your career, you're solidifying that position, going for, you know, climbing up the ladder, right? Maybe it's not corporate, but whatever, you know, expanding your skill set. Maybe you have multiple jobs, you started a business, whatever it is, stick to it because it will pay off. Okay. We have that chariot and we know, it's all about that hard work, but there is a payoff with it. Okay. We also have a hawk and it looks like another hawk. Okay. One kind of sitting on the nest, the other one sitting on the nest, right? So I do feel almost like this is like two people, and maybe this is your dating, I don't know, but it could be, you know, a friendship or, it feels amorous for some reason, but it does. It feels like you both have your own homes, your own lives, right? And you're both very similar. There's this, a kinship. It almost feels like, and maybe this is what that twin soul stuff is about. I don't know. I don't necessarily, it's not my paradigm, right? But I won't knock it. I won't knock it. Although I do have some issues with the thinking that we are two of the same people in different bodies. I don't know. It could be, right? But there's just so much gray area for there to be a sense of entitlement and control and mistreating one another. You know, when we feel like we are extensions of each other, ooh, you know, you can start to maybe go into territory where there needs to be boundaries, right? And that's my only issue with this kind of thinking. But yeah, sometimes we do in life. We meet people that are very similar to us, and we find a kindredness there. And I think that there's a love. There is a love, there's a respect, there is a friendship, there is a somewhat of, I think, an attraction, right? I don't think that this is your person, though. You know, I think that this is somebody, as we do, we meet people in life and they're there for a reason. They maybe stay around for a long time, maybe not. Maybe this is like a brief encounter where it is very much a kind of situation where we can see ourselves in somebody else, right? Good or bad, right? Sometimes it's the parts of ourselves that we really, it's like, I see how this is playing out with this other person. I recognize these same behaviors in myself, and I am acutely aware that they have to change because it is not cool, you know? And it's a blessing when that happens. It is. It's a blessing to be that self-aware. But in this situation, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that you have met this person and, you know, it's like I see them working hard. I see them, you know, just unapologetically will do what they have to do to kind of build the life that they want and need for themselves and their family. And it can appear ruthless at times, and we're talking about hawks, right? These are some brutal birds when they have to be. Very precise and stealth and I would think very business minded, right? And so, you know, I think that there is a respect there, okay? And yeah, and I do. I think it's like one of those little confirmations from the universe. One of those instances where, yeah, we do really relate to somebody else on a deep level, okay? So let's take a look. We have the self-care affirmation cards, and I'm going to flip through and stop where it feels right. And it says, life song. My life is a song in harmony. I take time to care for myself, to work, and to connect with others. Together, the notes of my life are in a beautiful harmony. Together, the notes of my life are in a beautiful harmony. I'm not in harmony. I feel so out of harmony. So I'm glad that somebody is in harmony. And I'm talking about just how I feel. My voice, I know I sound, I don't know. I think it's just, there's smoke in the air. That's what it is. I was trying to think, I'm like, what is going on earlier? And it is, I was reading on the interwebs that our area is inundated with smoke, And I imagine it's from Canada. Usually that's where it's coming down from. So hopefully those fires get put out or contained or burnt out, burn themselves out. And yes. So anyways, Leo, I want to tell you I love you because I do. And I hope that, you know, this message was received well. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps the channel so much. And I would be so appreciative. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, think about doing that. It's free to subscribe. Also, if you want to leave a comment, please do. I love hearing from each and every one of you. And especially if you're new to the channel, shout it out in the comments. Yeah, other than that, I think that's it. I want to tell you again, I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. Good night.